Interesting. That's something I had spoke to you about and asked you about as well, and maybe you can dive into it a little bit. And I don't know if you'll know what I'm referring to or if you've seen it. I had read that there's some studies saying that as far as vitamin D supplements and then vitamin D from the sun, they were saying that supplements seem to be a better approach. And my question to you was, at first it didn't really make sense because I think anything natural from the sun would be best. However, I was considering, what if people live in like Alaska or Russia or Seattle, I think is cloudy all the time. So maybe the reason why they say that supplements tend to be more successful as far as the vitamin D, or do you know much about that?
Yeah, I've come across actually several studies, not just one study, basically saying the same thing, that supplementation is slightly better at improving your vitamin D levels than the sun is. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily the best option. It's really more about, are we getting exposed to vitamin D or not? And, you said it, there are a lot of people that aren't able to go out and really absorb the sun and get that 20 minutes every day of vitamin D that we really need in order for us to convert the absorbed vitamin D into what we need in the body. So if you were to ask me personally, which is better, I would always say what's natural is better, right? But we don't always have the option to get what's natural. So you do what you can. And I think the studies were really based on the fact that when you supplement, you're supplementing on a daily basis, you're taking it on a regular basis, and you're able to replenish those levels pretty quickly. That doesn't necessarily negate the fact that sun exposure is also a great source of vitamin D. And I'll give you a perfect example. Sub-Saharan Africa did a lot better with the pandemic than we did. And, you don't really find a lot of people who are deficient in vitamin D in sub-Saharan Africa because they're outdoors very frequently. They actually have the lowest, Africa as a continent has the lowest incidence of colon cancer as well. And a lot of it may be attributed to the fact that they don't really see a lot of vitamin D deficiency. And vitamin D deficiency has been linked to several cancers, including colon cancer and breast cancer. So these factors definitely play a role. So I would say, if you have access to getting in the sun every day for 20 minutes, then you know what, that's going to replenish your levels as well, and you're going to have good levels. But if you don't have access to that, or there's inconsistency in your exposure, then supplementation is definitely an option. And I think that's really where the studies came, where they showed that slight improvement is probably because of the fact that it's consistent, right? And you're kind of taking it in, and not everyone is able to expose themselves to sun on a daily basis because of the lifestyles that we all lead.